Hey everybody, it is Yishan here, and today I have an Edison deck profile for you guys. I've recently gotten into the format, and you know me, I have to cook up something spicy. I'm not satisfied with just playing normal stuff. And well, there's a lot of cool things you can do. Edison, the card pool is so huge, but today I've got a Skyscraper Hero Beat deck list. It's really cool. If you love elemental heroes, definitely come check this deck out. I just went to my first Edison tournament, went 3-1. Hey, it was pretty cool. It was a lot of fun. I love the old way of playing Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, there's just this nostalgia where you're playing with cards like Elemental Hero Terra Firma, Prisma. I got my Stratos, searching my aliases, sneak peek there. It was a lot of fun. So let's get right into the deck profile. It's an interesting concept. Sort of, I always want to try something new, and I haven't seen it too much in the Edison sort of discussion and videos that I've seen online. I haven't seen people really try this out too much, so I wanted to throw it out there, throw it out into the interwebs. Let me know if you enjoy it. Let's start. Oh my god, by the way, look at these Edison cards. Some of these cards are just so beautiful and just, oh god. And I mean, I've had these aliases since I was a young kid, so just being able to play with them is just awesome. So, okay. Sorry, that's a little bit of a sidetrack there. So start off the Hero Beat classic stuff. 1 Stratos, 3 Alias. These are the best monsters in your deck. And I don't really think it's that close. Sort of the deck is built around these cards, and everything else is just like a supporting cast. Okay, because it allows you to play like Gemini Spark, Hero Blast, Miracle Fusion. Really cool cards. So there's not too much to explain here other than you can stare at them for a little bit because they look pretty. Otherwise, I think these are kind of mandatory in every sort of Hero Beat deck. Okay, here's where we get a little bit spicier. I'm running 2 Ocean. Why am I running 2 Ocean? Well, you need waters for Miracle Fusion, because one of the reasons to play heroes in Edison is because of Miracle Fusion. And Edison, you know, from my short time in the format, when you play decks, you kind of need to find a reason to play them, right? If you see, you know, value decks, they're trying to abuse value, right? That's the reason to play it. If you're playing, you know, heroes, it's Miracle Fusion. If you're playing machines, it's probably Machina Fortress, you know, or there's you know, many cards in the format. If you're playing frogs, you're trying to abuse the Caiuses and whatnot, and that sort of thing. So that's what it is, or maybe you call it substitute, but basically you're just trying to abuse the power cards, and you need some powerful cards, and Miracle Fusion is one of them. So you've got to play some waters. Now, there's a couple of options I've seen. I've seen people play Deep Sea Diva. That's very strong. I just wanted to go with something a little different. I just love the heroes, and I wanted to play something a little more pure. So I had to have 2 Oceans for 2 of the waters. It's the only water in the deck, so you kind of need it. We'll go over more how this card works later, but it's really good because the effect is to add a hero monster from your graveyard to your hand during the standby phase. That one most people know. What people don't know is you can also add from the field, so you can actually just return a Stratos from the field to your hand and summon it again if you don't have any heroes in your graveyard that you want to add back. And yeah, if you protect it, you pretty much win the game, because once this starts adding heroes back, the advantage is just gone crazy. You know, you've gone into the deep end. Okay, one of the last heroes in the main deck, one of the other ones I should say, is Elemental Hero Wildheart. Now this combos pretty well with Elemental Hero Captain Gold, and I run the Skyscraper as well. So this is why it's called Skyscraper Heroes, because I actually run Skyscraper. Now, what this allows the hero deck to be is it allows this deck to be more of a toolbox kind of deck, right? So one of the classic problems with Hero Beat is you want to draw like a couple monsters at a time, right? You want to draw a couple monsters, and then you want to have your spell and traps to back up your big beefy beaters and their slice synergies. The problem is sometimes you draw too many monsters, right? And you don't want to cut like search spells or other monsters from your deck because you don't want to draw too few either. So what this allows us to do is with our search cards like Stratos, and later you'll see Rhoda and Emergent Call, it allows us to turn those into a Captain Gold, which can turn into a Skyscraper. So Captain Gold, discard it to add a Skyscraper, basically. And you can summon it if there's a Skyscraper on the field. By the way, Captain Gold, I mean, that's just cool, in my opinion. But yeah, okay. Back to I just love staring at these old cards. Back to the main point of the video. Okay, so Skyscraper is a card that lets you, when a hero attacks, so you have to be the one attacking, and it has less attack than whatever it's attacking, it gains 1,000. So it lets you out stuff like Caius, with your 1500 beaters, or even Goyo Guardian or Stardust Dragon, Thought Ruler Archfiend, just stuff. Actually, it's funny, one of the biggest things that this deck struggles with is Colossal Fighter, because you can't kill it with Skyscraper. But yeah, it's sort of like, okay, if you have too many monsters, you just go and add Captain Gold off your Searcher, you turn it into a Skyscraper, boom, all of a sudden you have gotten removal instead of a monster. So you have like toolbox. If you're in a situation where you need to clear your opponent's monster, okay, then you can just grab Wildheart up, because that with Skyscraper is going to clear whatever they have, and then it sort of swings the board control back in your favor. It's also an Earth for Miracle Fusion for Gaia. And then if you need value, you just get Ocean, right? So sort of, you got like 3 options here. And then if you need, if you have your Gemini Sparks and Hero Blast, obviously you grab this guy. And then, of course, you're probably grabbing this guy first no matter what, because, hey, free pluses, right? So that's sort of where we're at. And this is sort of the hero lineup. I kind of wish I played Elemental Hero Prisma in the main deck. This I put in the side deck for my first local. I went 3-1, but I kind of wish I main decked this, because this can actually dump your Ocean or your Wildheart, which is sort of another like toolbox aspect to get your Miracle Fusions live faster, because that's one problem I felt like I was having, was my Miracle Fusions weren't live. Okay, sorry, that was a lot of talk about the monster/1 Skyscraper in the deck. But I felt like it was deserved, because that's the theory behind the entire deck, is this package right here, right? So that's the theory behind the entire deck. And it's sort of how I went about building this deck. Okay, last card, 2 Beast King Barbaros. This is like really, really good when you draw Skill Drain, and kind of okay when you don't. It's also an Earth, so at least it works with Miracle Fusion. It's kind of I had 2 spots available, and I didn't know what to put in my deck. I definitely want to find room for Prisma, but this card's just sometimes very, very good, and sometimes just average. 3,000 beater with Skill Drain is fantastic, and that actually happened probably more than it should have at the tournament. But I also sided this card out a lot because it's not on theme, right? Kind of taking it out doesn't affect your engine in any way. So it's probably one of the first cards that could be cut, but I do love the synergy with it and Call of the Haunted, but it may be cut, and I'll talk about sort of some of the weaknesses of the deck. That's it for monsters. Spells, okay, gotta run your 3E emergency call, in my opinion. You're trying to draw Stratos, you're trying to draw your heroes. It's a toolbox deck, right? This is not like your normal Hero Beat deck where you literally only have Alias and Stratos and maybe 1 Ocean. This is a deck where you can search up Wildheart as well as Captain Gold, right? So you have plenty of options, some extra options. It makes these worth playing, in my opinion. Maxing out lets you max out very comfortably, which is a good feeling, because then you actually don't lose games, because you draw monsters more often, which is fantastic. Love to see that. Okay, and then you're playing heroes, so you gotta play 3 Miracle Fusion. Like I said, I kind of wish I played Prisma in the main deck. I mean, this card's good. Basically, like, it's one of those cards that's like gets you out from a bad situation. Okay, if you're behind, you just activate it, and the game state's going to either go in your favor or go back to parity. So that's really, really nice. Sometimes I'm winning, and I just never even activate this card. Like, even though I could, I'm like, okay, well, I'm just going to keep attacking until my opponent clears my board. Then I'll activate Miracle Fusion. But yeah, very, very good. I just, again, should have probably played Prisma. Triple Gemini Spark. This is to go with your aliases. This is just like, it's also your backer removal, it's spot removal. It does everything really for the deck. And that's why maxing out on your emergency call and Rotas is important, because you want to make sure you're getting into this loop first, usually, before you sort of go off and search your other heroes. So that's 3 Gemini Spark, and then the 1-ofs, 1 MST, very, very good, and then 1 Future Fusion. Just broken in all hero decks. There are times where I actually, like, after I set it out Barbaros, I literally had a dead Future Fusion. I don't know if that's common. I have 3 targets to dump, so it's not that crazy. But yeah, maybe I need to end up playing like being careful about this card. I'm not sure. Like, maybe just being careful, trying to leave one of them in the deck if I can for Future Fusion. But yeah, that's sort of where we're at there. It's just, it's the best card to draw turn 1. It's so good. And then traps. That's it for the spells. I got 3 Deep Prison. I'm missing an ultra here. Just, I think, the best trap for this kind of deck, right? Okay, so you have trouble with your opponent attacking you, so you play Deep Prison. Very simple, right? You can run over your opponent's stuff with Skyscraper, but Deep Prison's great. It protects your Ocean too, so that's sort of, in those situations. 2 Bottomless. It's semi-limited, but helps you get stuff like, Dark Arm Dragon, so at least they only pop 1 card, that sort of thing. Hero Blast for the +1, just so, oh my god, when you start getting the Gemini Sparks and Hero Blasts going, it's just like, it feels so good. It feels so good, so love the card. Just, it's when it resolves, it's, just muy caliente. I don't know what that. I don't even know what that means in Spanish, but it sounds good. And then okay, the broken cards: 2 skill drain, 2 royal oppression. These are just like trying to sack your opponent, trying to cheese your opponent. Like I said, everything in Edison, like people are playing brain control, heavy storm, whatever. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh has never been about trying to have 2 duelists go into the arena and let it be determined purely based on skill. You know, it's never been about that. Sometimes you gotta play some broken cards in your deck. That's kind of what makes it fun. Like, okay, you get to abuse brain control. I'm abusing skill drain and royal oppression. That's it. Sometimes though, like royal oppression, you want to like be ahead, like or at least have some sort of war presence. Because if they've already special summoned and then you draw this, it feels bad because then you have a hard time activating it because sometimes like you need your miracle fusion to come back. But I would say like 20% of the time it sucks, and 70% of the time, 75% of the time it's pretty good. So kind of a worth it deal. Skill drain's just great, honestly. That card's like pretty much barely hurts you except for Ocean. Okay, 1-up traps. These are all broken except for, I would play all of these. Oh, by the way, Solemn Judgment. Basically, it's like for Heavy Storm. This deck struggles with Heavy Storm. And so this thing was like negating like Heavy Storm like 50% of the time. Called the Haunted. I need to get a better looking one. But this card is just really, really good in this deck because of Stratos. And mainly because of Stratos and Ocean, but also if you can call the Haunted of Beast King Barbaros and it becomes 3,000. So that's kind of nice. Trap Dust Shoot just completely broken, especially if you're going first. And you know what your opponent, like if you just know your opponent's entire hand, it's so useful. Like there was a game where I had an Ocean in my hand. I Trap Dust Shooted it. Oh, I saw his hand had no big monsters to out this. So literally, I can just normal summon it, no fear, even if I don't have protection, like for my Ocean. I would have never summoned it without like a Deep Prison up, right? But I knew, oh, he's got nothing that can run this over. Perfect. I'll just normal summon it, and game's over because I'm going to add a hero back every turn. So that's sort of like, I took away his good monster, and then yeah, just GG. And then the last card I played was Starlight Road. Again, I said Heavy Storm is a problem point for this deck, but the problem with Starlight Road, first of all, I hate this card. It's like one of those cards that's bad, to be honest. It's like only good against Heavy Storm game 1, which most people are playing. But the problem is it doesn't even protect you when your oppressions face up, which seems counterintuitive. Like my opponent will just pay 100 and negate my own Starlight Road. So I mean, this card just feels kind of like win more. It rarely resolves, and when it does, it feels really good. But I feel like I want to play like something like Legacy of the Yatagarasu. If I draw that card, I can just set two back row turn 1. If I get heavy, hey, no big deal. I activate Legacy, draw 1, and then it's a 1-for-1. And also, it's just more consistent in the long run. So I actually think I've seen that tech come around a lot, and I might have to give it a shot. Otherwise. Yeah, that's that. I'd probably cut this for the Prisma for sure because this card's useless, but then I want to play more traps because Prisma's an extra monster and I don't want too many monsters, especially since Beast King is not like, you can't turn that into skyscraper value. But okay, that's it for the main deck. That was pretty interesting. Let's just go over extra deck first because it's simple. There are a couple of things I would probably change. Okay, first of all, why is I playing this card? This is just for Prisma to be able to dump Ocean. It looks sick also too. Elemental Hero Terraformer, broken. Elemental Hero Wild Wingman, also broken. What's its only purpose? Only purpose is dump Wild Heart. Also just looks the coolest out of the Wild Heart fusions, in my opinion. So that's why it's there. Chimera Tech, there's no reason not to run 2 or 3 of these. I just was too lazy. So yeah, you should probably play 3 of this one. And then 1 Stardust is for the Starlight Road. So sure. And then the heroes, I played 3 Elemental Hero Absolute Zero, and then 2 Elemental Hero Gaia. Okay. Yeah, this is like, you should definitely run 3 of this because it's possible to summon 3 of them. But I don't want to pay $7 for a third one, so that's why there's only 2. And then, yeah, you do need to play 3. It's actually possible that you'll summon 3. Like, it's like within the realm of possibility. So play 3 of this. What mistakes with the extra deck? If you're running, I'm running Super Poly on the side, so I should probably be playing that Gemini fusion. You can also, I guess, play Cyber Twin Dragon maybe as like somehow if your opponent has 2 Cyber Dragons. And then maybe also I should play I played against Ojamas the other day. Like there's so much extra space, I might as well run Super Poly targets. I might as well just play like the Ojama whatever. There's like an Ojama fusion that takes 2 Ojamas. I should probably just play it. If I ever randomly play against the Ojama deck, which I probably never will again. But hey, at least I'll have it in my extra deck for when I do. Side deck, one Prisma, and then I think Prisma. The reason I decided it was originally I think I was going to play it with against machines because Prisma's got a great interaction where you can reveal your good friend the Chimeratech Fortress Dragon, because it has listed on it Cyber Dragon as material. So Prisma is a really cool card. I never see this in Edison, but I think it's better than people give it credit for. And then you can dump a Cyber Dragon, and then you can contact fuse with it. That was my idea there. I just don't know. What am I supposed to side Cyber Dragon in against? I have no clue. Honestly, this one is a mystery to me. Maybe it's because I played against 4 value decks, basically, or at least 4 dark decks. So maybe this is like, it's like, do people play machines? I see people play machines. I see a lot of machine deck profiles, but I never have faced it. So, yeah, I don't know if I would cut that or not, but and maybe at least play 1 Cyber Dragon in the side deck for your Prisma so you can tutor it up. But like, you know, this would be good against like Snowman Eater, but then like, I don't know. There's better cards against, you know, there's better cards against Snowman Eater maybe. Okay. Let's go with the other monster in the side deck, which is 2 Banisher of the Radiance. This card in theory was good, but I never ended up liking it. It's just too weak. It's just too weak. It's not a hero. The best thing you're doing is like killing values with it, maybe. It's good against like Armageddon Knight, but I just don't think it's good enough. I think I'd rather play something like Thunder King and blow out some other deck or something like that. I just didn't think it was good. Or maybe -1 and play something else, like an extra Nobleman of Crossout. This deck has a trouble dealing with stuff that's set, so maybe that's the way to go. But yeah, I didn't like this one too much. I mean, it's good against like, you know, Mystic Tomato decks too, but like sometimes so is Nobleman of Crossout. I think it just hits more things, and sometimes like this is just too weak sometimes. Okay, 2 Super Poly. Oh, by the way, I know these sleeves are different. The freaking Dragon Shield thing only, like I had red and now they're white. I used to have this deck was originally sleeved in Player's Choice whites because I was like, oh, that's what I used to do back in the day. But God, those sleeves are so bad. Does anyone else feel that way? I feel like those sleeves are so bad. I don't know if it's like a modern thing. I think they were always bad, to be honest. But yeah, so I switched over. But anyway, 2 Super Poly. Yeah, this is me. I should play the Gemini stuff in this extra deck. I just didn't play against a single hero deck, so I have no idea if this card's good or not. 1 Heavy Storm, my thought is if I'm going second against another deck that plays a lot of back row, hey, this card might be good. I'm able to get a 2 for 1. Still am not sure about it, honestly. Like, I can't tell if this, maybe should I even made it? I have no idea. But yeah, I only played 1 Nobleman. I kind of wish I played more of this card. Like, I've been trying more of it online, and I like it. So we'll probably bump this up to 2, I think. And then the Mirrors. Yeah, I love it. You know, like, basically, like, I think it's fine to play 3 of these because your opponent is 100% putting in Dust Tornado against you almost all the time. And these things are getting Dust Tornado like left and right all the time. So just like, it's always fine to have the second one. Like, the first one's almost guaranteed dead. And it's just the best, like, highest upside side card, in my opinion. Just sometimes if they can't out it, you win. So that's what I want to see in my side deck. Maybe that's a little page from modern Yu-Gi-Oh! There. I just like these cards a lot because I enjoy not letting my opponent play. That makes me does that make me evil? I have no idea. Okay, that is it, guys. So what would I change about the deck? Currently, what am I testing online right now? Let's take a look. What I've been sort of enjoying online is minus the Starlight Road. For sure, this card is terrible. So yeah, minus the Starlight Road. And I wanted to plus, I'm trying -2 Beast King Barbarosses. And I am adding in the Prisma to the main deck, as well as 2 Legacy of Yatagarasus, which has been fine so far. I could maybe go 1 Legacy, 1 Barbaros. I could see that, because I have sometimes ran out of Future Fusion targets, but I don't know if I can just play better and not have that happen to me. So yeah, that's sort of the status of the deck. That's what I would change. Side deck, probably another Nobleman, maybe some DE Crows. That card seems somewhat useful in addressing some of the problems with the deck, because I can't really, you know, but then there's also a Shadow and Prism Mirror, so like maybe that's not even worth it. No idea. Side deck's still kind of up in the air. If anyone's got any ideas, maybe pulling the rug, I could see that being a decent option. That's it for me, guys, and yeah, I will see you in the next one. Peace.